From Detroit, it's Coffee and Chocolate. Welcome back to Coffee and Chocolate After Hours. We are back to Vampire the Masquerade, Reckoning in New York. We're following Patrick's storyline this time. So let's push play. Night 2. December 2024. 6 nights till New Year. Patrick's Haven. Rude Awakening. When I finally claw myself out of the well of slumber, the sun is only barely set. Callie is still fast asleep, laid out on my couch like the corpse that she is. Who knows how long until she stirs? I kill time the way I always do. I plunge into the unknown of novels, essays, and treatises, looking for even the barest mention of inner voices, the briefest mention of their purported prominence. My research so far has been fruitless, and tonight is no exception. I hope Ritra comes through on her promise soon enough. A flicker of movement catches my attention as Callie's eyes crack open, but I continue looking at the dusty page in front of me. Good evening. I hope you slept well. Listen, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I've slept on bags of bricks more comfortable than your couch, which is fine. Good for your spine, so I've heard. Truth be told, I don't know what else I expected of her. Fortunately, you need no longer trouble yourself with matters of backbone, be they physical or moral. Wow. I see you're the opposite of cranky in the evening. So did I snooze through anything noteworthy? I jot down one last note and carefully close the book before finally glancing up at her. She's sitting upright now and squints around the room in a bit of a daze. Well, that would depend on your definition of noteworthy. But I have been pondering on next steps. Oh, do tell. I've been working for the Anarchs for the past 2 years and forged friendly relationships with some of them. Talk included, although in this particular case, I'd rather avoid his presence. Trouble in paradise? Hilarious. Trouble in the Bronx. Torque is more than occupied with the current goings-on within his turf. He may have neither time nor patience for a visit. Well, that's a pity. So what do you propose, then? I look out of the window, collecting my thoughts in a coherent stream. The allegations against your sire. See, I happen to know someone who used to be deeply entrenched in the darker corners of the Red Market, an Anarch, working not too far from here. If Cassell truly wields as much influence as the court suggests, my contact could offer substantial aid. Substantial, you say? Wow. Can't argue with that. Except it's a no-go, amigo. Again with her insufferable slang. I repeat the words, trying to get used to their shape in my mouth. A no-go amigo. Look, I get it. You have friends and contacts aplenty, but so do I. Also, I know Raynard Cassell like the back of my hand. We've been dealing all around the city on and off for 2 years, so there's got to be somebody here who knows where he bailed. I am sure her lengthy elaborations will lead to a point someday. I can see her hesitation as if she's mulling over something in her head. I wonder what she's trying to conceal. There's this one guy who hangs around Harlem, Ellie Sinceric. Apparently he's one of the few kindred that didn't burn with hatred for Reynard. So it must mean they were getting along. Bewilderment surges through me. Ellie Sinceric? The serpent? Why? Do you have something against him? I don't know if she's truly witless or just pretends for her own amusement. Either way, I cannot let her not know about the ministry if we are ever to set foot on their territory. Girl, do you have the slightest inkling about what Senseric's capable of? A veritable river of memories floods my mind, showing me the atrocities committed by the Setites in just the past 2 years. Callie doesn't seem to know much about Senseric, but she definitely doesn't like the look on my face. Go on, enlighten me. To put it bluntly, only in the most desperate situation would anyone with an ounce of sanity consider seeking out Ellie Senseric. A perfect lead, given my circumstances. I can go find him now, have a little chat, I'll be back in no time. I sigh inward. That child still thinks she's capable of tricking me. Fool me once, Callie. We could go find him, but it's far from the best course of action at the moment. Senseric is extremely dangerous and territorial. We should not take him lightly. I propose we go to the Anarchs first. At least there we will not be in danger of losing our heads. You're being so dramatic. We're going to be fine. What's the worst that can happen? I stare at her. I believe us literally losing our heads is most definitely in the realm of possibility. We could split the party, you know. Again, we most certainly could not. See, I think not only does she not listen to reason, but she also has the attention span of a hamster. She waves at me defensively as she rummages through her belt bag. Whoops, sorry, I think I reached my limit there. How about we just flip a coin? Heads we go to Senseric, tails we go to Harlem. Fool me twice. You mean the Bronx? She grimaces, aghast that I caught her twisting reality, and rolls her eyes. Fine, call it already. I am about to open my mouth to demand that we toss one of my coins, as I'm sure she's about to use some sort of chicanery on hers, but my voices erupt into a deafening cacophony. Yes. She'll win, lad, she'll win. Yes. I grab my ring and twist it desperately, chasing away the din. Choose, boy. We're gonna see Senseric. Yes, Senseric will finally meet. 20. Finally. Blessed silence. So if I choose, she will win. I look up at her and nod. All right. But you call it. She shrugs, grinning at me in delight. Suit yourself, buddy. It's your funeral. Heads. She tosses the coin, and it glimmers in the warm light of the floor lamp, soaring through the air as it spins quicker than the wheel of fate. It lands on her outstretched hand, and she flips it onto her palm, showing it to me confidently, without even a glance, so sure that she has won. I look at it, and feel a satisfied smile split my face in two. Oh, it's tails. Fancy that. Seems we're going to the Bronx after all. What? The utter shock on her face is truly delightful. I don't think I've ever seen somebody's eyes bulge out of the skull so intensely. She stays silent for a while, just staring at the coin in her hand in disbelief. Then she raises her head and shoots me an accusatory look. Best at 2 out of 3. And I just smile. No. The rules were established before the game. Now, come. We can take my car. I get up from the armchair and start putting on my coat. She follows suit, cursing under her breath all the while. Who would have thought all I needed to gain her obedience was to crush her at a simple game of chance, huh? Yeah, your car. Wait. You mean that black rattletrap out front? How dare she? It is a perfectly serviceable vehicle whose minuscule size allows for... With a dismissive wave, she cuts short my eloquent defense of my car. You know what? How about we just go and you can enjoy your minuscule vehicle in silence? I never say no to an offer of peace and quiet. A is for Anarchy. I love this name. We're headed to the Anarchs, where my friend and informant Mato will provide some insight into the whereabouts of Callie's sire, one hopes. Well, only one choice. Here we go. As it turns out, silence is not what happens when Callie gets into a car. She manages maybe half a minute of quietly looking around before her curiosity latches onto the selection of cassette tapes I've collected over the years. Another Bohemian Rhapsody? Seriously? I exaggerate the furrow of my brows, putting on a puzzled expression. Huh. I thought I only had one of them. Terrific. She bursts into laughter. God forbid you get with the times, but how about a legit car radio, to update your playlist? Says the one sporting a Walkman on her belt. She shrugs, seemingly offended. Is she trying to hide it? I like choosing what I listen to in the car, even when it sometimes happens to be Queen. No escape from reality, huh? I'm just saying, you're missing out a whole lot of stuff if you ignore the 21st century. The music scene's been booming. Ever hear of K-pop? You're giving off some serious sasaeng energy, my guy. Sasaeng? Well, I've never heard about this band, but I'm willing to give it a try. Do you think any of them have released cassette tapes? Aside from our contrasting views on modernity, our little journey proceeds smoothly, which is perfect for me. But some kind of personal hell for Callie. She twitches in her seat, picking at her nails and bouncing her foot, and I'm just waiting for her to finally burst. Holy shit, watch out! There it is. A disappointing attempt at diverting my attention toward nothing. The streets are as quiet as they come. We're gonna crash and... Seriously, are you a robot or what? No, just seasoned. And in the right mind. But she does have me intrigued. Next time you try to scare somebody, be a bit more specific. It adds believability. But what was that really about? Oh... Just the traffic's driving me nuts. Thought I'd stir up a little chaos. A little bit of anarchy. Ah, of course. Is that your subtle way of inquiring about a seemingly touchy subject? You tell me. Then brace yourself for disappointment. My run-ins with the Anarchs aren't nearly as thrilling as you might hope. I pause briefly to collect my thoughts and start from the beginning. I landed in New York about 2 years ago. Shortly after, I managed to save a handful of kindred, mostly of the anarch variety, although I do believe there was some camarilla in the mix. It earned me what I might call tentative trust from talk, and not much else, as you might have assessed back in the Elysium. Wow, how noble. So how'd you go from kindred hero to camarilla's gopher? I have to stop for a moment and consider the trajectory of my unlife, especially since this kind of professional transition has happened to me more than once. I have a knack for playing peacemaker, apparently. And while Torque considers it an asset, the Camarilla thinks it's a chink in his armor. Compromise isn't really in their vocabulary, you see. She snorts inelegantly. Oh, I definitely know. But if you save some Camarilla kindred as well, why not start with them and curry some favor? They're the fat cats in New York, right? I leveled her with an amused look. Yes. And those fat cats delight in catching caitiff mice, you know. She goes quiet for a long while, squirming uncomfortably in her seat like an unwanted sprat flung back out to sea. Then she changes the subject. So we have the Camarilla and the Anarchs, that's standard fare. Anybody else to keep an eye out for? My dead heart skips a figurative beat. There is someone, in fact, whom I really do not wish to mention. No. She eyes me suspiciously, but my face is inscrutably blank. Right. How about cool stories about the Anarchs? You seem to gel with them the most. Silence, lad. Silence, tailor and nothing. Shut your gob. My hands automatically come together and my fingers start fiddling with the ring. Ruin! Carnage! Calamity! Guard your secrets well, boy. Oh, come on. I'm dying of boredom here. You must have some wild tales to tell. Something not found in your pile of books. She'll see through you. The parasite. The husk. The end bringer. The friend. The confidant. One more spin. 20 on the die. My head falls quiet and my hands relax on the steering wheel. Ah, indeed. The stories I've heard when talking to people rival those found in books. The kindred are a veritable treasure trove of told tales. Oh, fancy alliteration you got going on there. So what kind of kindred are we talking about? Well, thin bloods, for the most part. I was particularly interested in one called Sana, but mentioning her tends to shut conversations down. Probably because she met her final death 4 years back at the hands of the sheriff, no less. Kadir? Wow. She must have stirred the pot. Well, she did go on a mortal killing spree, but I am not one to judge whether or not the punishment fit the crime. Well, I know a thing or two about walking the line between right and wrong, so I don't think I'm in any place to judge her either. Still, what pushed her? Callie seems to be a bit of an airhead, so even if she knows about Masana and my research, it's unlikely she'll discover anything about my identity, or worse, my suspicions about the one true voice in my head. Right? Right? She claimed she was acting under orders from Cain, urging her to kill. That's right. The biblical Cain, who was the first vampire. He allegedly told Sana the end of the world is nigh, and somehow that devolved into a killing spree. And she never asked why the creator of our whole species would just specifically choose her. Just straight up went on a rampage. Well, maybe the voice was really convincing, Callie. Maybe she went through all the other possible answers and none of them fit. Or maybe she just was truly, simply insane. I don't say that out loud, of course, but I want to. Look, I'm just telling you what I heard. Never met her myself, I just found her condition fascinating. She waves her hands defensively. Hey, no need to get worked up. I glanced at your research notes. I know you're really into the inner voices stuff. I'm not judging. It's just, I don't want to know where this is going. Well, we can end this conversation anytime you want, really. Well, it's just that you have some really niche hobbies, you know. May I interested in, I don't know, crocheting or something? It's a lot less intense than chasing crazies. My loud, long-suffering sigh successfully ends the conversation, but there is a gallingly satisfied grin on her face. I pull up to Matto's shop, much to Callie's bewilderment. Are you sure this is the spot? I can ask for directions or something. I ignore her and focus on parking, slowly and carefully aligning my car with the curb. Last time I left it here, someone tore off one of the mirrors, so some precautions are definitely in order. Finally satisfied, I turn the engine off. Let's go. And I get out of the car. It takes her a while to follow suit. Did she expect some kind of ceremony? But she catches up as I set foot in the shop. Matto, are you here? A huge burly kindred steps out from the shadows, quieter than a mouse. His grime-covered arms are all set to give me a bear hug, but I manage to stop him with a warning look. Paddy, looking good, my man. What can I do you for? Need me to take a look at that old clunker of yours? Why does everyone have it out for my vehicle? It really is a fine car. Matto casts a wary glance my way, which is understandable. My outbursts are infrequent and even rarer in front of others. Never mind. I can see you're rather busy tonight, so let us omit the small talk. I hoped you'd have a moment for a few questions. It won't take long. Matto erupts into laughter, patting me on the shoulder. Thankfully, I'm now well acquainted with his habits and manage to brace myself in time so Matto's gigantic hand doesn't throw me off balance. Not this time, at least. Anything for you, my man. Speaking of, who is this that you brought? Matto's gaze cuts right through Callie, his hawkish eyes surprisingly cool and sharp despite his rugged exterior. She seems to sense that he's sizing her up, expertly, and tries to puff herself up a bit, to no avail. Matto, this is Callie. She's gotten a bit of a trouble with the ivory tower. You see, well, to put it short, her execution is on hold, provided she delivers the council her sire's head on a silver platter. Matto lets out a long whistle in grudging respect. Damn. What's your sire accused of? That's kind of what we're trying to piece together. Ever come across a lick who goes by Reynard Cassell? Reynard, huh? Yeah, can't say it rings a bell. What's his deal? Blood trade, amongst other things. On purpose, I say the words quietly, sharply, with no hesitation. I've learned that with Matto there's no use beating around the bush, and that the topic of blood trade is an extremely touchy subject for him, given his Tremere heritage. Ooh. I didn't know that he was one of the warlocks. Fascinating, those Tremere, you know. Best to rip that bandage off as quickly as possible. Matto remains silent and motionless for a moment, while the tension in the air builds like a wall. I left that shit behind, man, you know that. But it still follows, I know. I'm not here to open up old wounds. We just need a direction. Nothing more, nothing less. Surely there's someone who's still in the loop, who might have heard some rumors. He's avoiding my eyes, fiddling with a rag. Damn it. I might have to push harder. Look, I get it. It's a difficult situation for you, but I was really hoping you could help out here. You know I would not hesitate to reciprocate as I have in the past. Yeah, I know. He seems more resigned than irritated, but still refuses to speak, eyes downcast, body language borderline deer in headlights. His obstinacy is, frankly, extremely vexing. I am about to double down on the guilt tripping, but when I shoot Callie a quick look, she smiles and steps forward. You see, I've only known Paddy for, a single night? Turns out that's more than enough to figure he's pretty good at killing the vibe when he puts his mind to it. Paddy? To think I let her into my haven last night, ungrateful brat, and that traitor Matto laughing at my expense. She's trying to manipulate him, I get it. Doesn't mean I'm less irritated. Look, I don't know the first thing about you. The whole blood trade drama, whatever, that's none of my business. I'm not about to dig in your dirt. Survival's the game we're going to play here, right? It's interesting the way she speaks. Almost as if somebody put those words in her mouth. So, I'll back out. Plus, I'm in a spot where I really can't afford to have anyone else in this town be pissed off at me. Yeah, I got you. It's just that, no need to spell it out. Gnarly pasts are sort of my thing, you know? Let's just drop the whole shebang, alright? He nods hesitantly while she smiles and takes a few steps toward a motorcycle in the back. I gotta say, though, you've got quite a setup here. Wait, is that a ZX-10R? What? Oh, right. Picked it up super cheap from some diva over in Long Island a few weeks ago. Guy had some nasty crash, pretty much wrecked it. He had no clue about the gem he was letting go of. I will not lie. The moment they start chittering excitedly, my ears fully shut off and my mind goes blank. I've never been interested in motorcycles, not even when they had me ride one back in the army. But it does seem Callie and Matto are bonding over that mechanical monstrosity, and perhaps she can use that to our advantage. I come to when they near the end of their conversation. Well, I'm always on the hunt for a good find, but I can't guarantee this model. But if I come across another butte like this, I could hold on to it for you if you're interested. You know what? I just might take you up on that offer. But I gotta deal with this Camarilla situation first. Ah, yes. A clever segue back to the root of our problem. She has softened Matto up, but it seems I am the one to deliver the coup de grace. Well, we should go, Callie, and find actual answers elsewhere. I might have another contact with some intel, but we need to make an appointment post-haste. Sorry to bother you, Matto. Thank you for your time. Callie winces a little, and Matto looks at me with profound sadness in his eyes. I quickly turn away. I am not immune to the face of a scolded puppy. Well, see you around, I hope, and if not, Patty here will give you my regards. Not that Patty again. But for what it's worth, our improvisation seems to have worked. We only take a few steps to the exit when Matto curses under his breath and speaks up. Hold up. I shoot Callie a meaningful look, but it vanishes by the time we both turn to the friendly giant. Matto's gnawing at his bottom lip and twisting the rag between his fingers. Yes? I really am out of that business, Patty. I know, Matto. Still, some whispers find their way to my ears. Nobody likes gossip more than a buzzed-up kindred. Oh, ain't that the truth? Usually comes in real handy, too. Yeah. So there's this thin-blood alchemist. Skylar is her name, I think. Hangs around at Sunny's a lot. Sunny's? Interesting. Empire of the Sun. It's a local Anarch dive. Yeah, exactly. Sunny's. If anyone knows anything about the blood trade, it's her. She's the only albino around too, so you won't mistake her for none. Matto, thank you. I will surely repay the same favor. Call me anytime you wish. I owe you big time. Who knows, you may have just saved my skin there. He gets a little flustered, waving his enormous hands around. Don't mention it. Still, we should get going. Take care. Not so fast, runt. And here I thought the stench of rotten sulfur would have alerted me to her presence. Ah, Miss Sorrento. What a pleasure. She glares at me, absolutely livid, and I fight to keep my wits about me. Such a despicable woman. Torque needs you. Now. Oh, does he now? Why? I came here to tell you not to debate, you kite. Figure it out on your own. I can feel my teeth crack as I gnash them in a desperate attempt to keep my cool. Maim her. Strangle her. I spin my ring until it lands on 20 and take back my mind. I like how he has to roll a natural 20 to get the voices in his head to shut up, right? Fine. Let's get moving, Callie. I don't think you heard me right. Torque summoned you. Your Ravnos pup is not invited. She turns on her heel and walks off into the night before I can even roll my eyes. The cluttered car shop suddenly feels a touch more welcoming, as if starlight broke through a storm. Matto gives me another one of those awkward shoulder pats, but I will admit it does have a relaxing effect on me. I find myself still clutching the ring, so I lower my hands before they attract too much attention. So don't get me wrong, the company I usually keep is far from nice, but damn if she's not the bitchiest of them all. Yeah, name's Mia. Sort of a big fish around here. I mutter angrily under my breath. Thankfully, there are always bigger fish in the pond. Hey, easy, baddie. You wouldn't want her catching wind of that. I clear my throat in a uselessly mortal manner. Seems I was right about Callie's company bringing out that part of me. Right. I believe that is our cue to go. Thanks again, Matto. Don't mention it. And you're welcome back anytime. Both of you. You got it. Later. I can barely see Callie and my surroundings through the red mist of fury. The voices in my head aren't even awake, but I still furiously spin my ring in the fruitless pursuit of peace of mind. And then Callie decides to speak up. I'm not going to lie. I don't think I've ever met a kindred as charming and likable as Matto. What's his deal? Where's he hiding the bodies? From what I gather, his skeletons are buried deep in the past. Matto used to be quite the skilled thaumaturge once, delving into the darker arts, albeit reluctantly. His sire can be quite intense. Aren't they all? Sure. To my surprise, this mindless conversation helped me relax and forget about Mia Sorrento bossing me around. I straighten up a little and put my hands into the pockets of my coat, inhaling as we walk. So what's the plan now? You have to go see Torque. Yeah, but Scary Enforcer Lady make it clear I wasn't invited to the party. Well, you'll just have to wait in the car then. Look. As much as I consider your perfectly serviceable car to be excellent company, we both know I can't sit around doing nothing. Perhaps you should learn how to then. It would be a perfect exercise too. It should not take too long. Bullshit. You and your endless debates, I'm going to be old and gray before you come out. And that's not an option anymore. Seriously, you handle Torque. I'll go over to Sunny's to look for that Skylar girl. That's not happening. Oh, come on. I've been the very model of temperance tonight. We've only been awake for a few hours. Splitting hairs. I'm heading to Sunny's to wait for you there. Scout's honor. Stick together. Together. You must. You have to. Together. Together. I sigh and rub tiredly at my eyes. The night has just started, but I'm already longing for slumber. If only we had some means of long-distance communication at hand. Can you imagine what we could do if we were able to hear our voices from miles apart? Alas, reality is much more cruel. Under Camarilla rules. We could try using pigeons. New York's got no shortage of them. Oh, so you're a comedian now. That's hilarious. My mouth twitches wanting to smile, but I suppress it. Look. It seems we're out of options here. You're going to have to come with me and wait for a bit. I'll figure out what Torque wants, and then... Don't let her out of your sight. She will be naught but doom. Engrossed in a battle for mental control, I barely notice Callie's hand waving in front of me. I keep spinning my ring as if my unlife depended on it, because it probably does. Let her go, Finn. A 20. Finally. I sigh relief and look at Callie seriously. All right. Meet at Empire the Sun in 1 hour. She gawks at me, jaw on the ground. What? For real? Empire of the Sun, 1 hour. Do not let me down. And before she has a chance to say anything remotely silly, I turn on my heel, hop into my car, and drive off into the night. Cruising through the streets of New York, I let my mind wander to Sorrento's message and the urgency with which she delivered it. I can't be sure if this matter is as important as she made it seem. Sometimes Torque summons me when he's genuinely concerned about the well-being of the Anarchs, and sometimes it's to complain about the Council being vexing that night. Sometimes it's just to remind me where exactly I stand in the local food chain. Normally I don't mind. The benefits I reap from having Torque's protection far outweigh the indignities. He's useless. Thankless. What a dumb fuck. But I am somewhat occupied at present, so Torque had better have a damn good reason for summoning me like a djinn from a lamp. Alright, I think that's all for now. Thank you for joining me. Give me a like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.